I'm Loida. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be answering a lot of the frequently asked questions that I get from you guys. So let's just get right to it. So the first one is, where can you get your real estate license? So there are two options. The first one is that you can do it in person. A lot of brokerages offer courses for you to take it in their location. And the second is for you to do it online. I did it online. It was much faster. I believe it was cheaper. I paid $169. I think that the fees have changed nowadays. Obviously, you could do your research. A school that I recommend is Real Estate Express. The link will be in the description box below. There's a lot of people that I know that have gone through that school that have enjoyed it, that have gotten great results, and have gone on to actually pass the state exam. Again, you can do your research, but I personally would recommend for you to do it online. The next question is, what scripts do you use? So there are a lot of different scripts available. You can go on Google. There's Mike Ferry, there's Tom Ferry, there's Kevin Ward. When I first started, I started with the Kevin Ward scripts from the Book of Yes. I personally like the style that those scripts are written in because they're very conversational. Over time, I have tweaked it to a way that works for me and how I communicate with buyers and sellers. So I would just recommend find one that you like and just stick to it. Don't be taking pieces from a whole bunch of different scripts, because that's not gonna work. It's gonna confuse you, and it's better for you to just pick one, stick to it, and master it. Next question is, what is in the pre-listing packet? So in the pre-listing packet that I sent out, I include a CMA, which are the comps. I include a net sheet, the copies of the contracts, some testimonials from clients, and I also include information about myself and my team. That's it. It's not 20 pages. It's not 5,000 points. It's usually just like the contracts, which out here in California, just that is like 14 pages. But aside from that, it's probably like 3 or 4 pages of information about myself and my team, testimonials, and the marketing that we do. The next question is, what's the best advice you can give a new agent? And where do you get most of your clients? So the first one, the best advice that I would give a new agent is make sure that you create a schedule for yourself. Just because you're getting into real estate and you are technically your own boss, it does not mean that you can just kind of wing it and work whenever you want. In fact, in this business, you're probably going to work a lot more than if you had a regular job. So make sure that you create a schedule for yourself, know exactly what you're going to be doing at what time, and be disciplined and committed enough to stick to it. Now, the second question was, where do you get most of your clients? So me personally, right now, I still do a lot of prospecting and I go after a lot of expireds. I have done for sale by owners, and I also call around neighborhoods, so circle prospecting. What I have seen in the past few years and more recently is that I am getting a lot more referrals from my sphere of influence and from past clients. However, when I was new, a lot of my business was from just cold calling expireds. The next question is, where does an agent get experience selling commercial or investment property? So if you have never sold any property like this, I would definitely recommend for you to go to your brokerage and find an agent that has experience selling these type of properties and see if you can shadow them, see if possibly they can mentor you. That way you can have a better idea of what it takes to sell that type of property and usually what that process is. Because commercial is a little bit different than residential. So if you want to end up focusing on commercial, that would be the best way to get a lot of information and learn quicker. The next question is, how do you follow up with leads? So if you're building a database, you will obviously have a lot of people in there, and it's your job to rank them in terms of how soon they're going to be doing something. But just to give you a brief and general overview, my leads do get newsletters weekly. And I also make sure to keep in touch if they are just my sphere of influence at least once a month. The hot leads, I make sure to stay on top of them weekly. And the people that are kind of like on the fence, I make sure to at least stay in front of them like every 2 or 3 weeks. That's just a general overview. It gets very specific, but I'm not going to be doing that in this video. Next question is, do you know if California State Test has taken out math? Yes. Moving on to the next one is, do you have any advice on real estate and healthy family balance? So it can get tricky, but the best thing that I would suggest for you to do is create a schedule and make sure that you time block. Make sure that in your schedule you incorporate time that is dedicated for work, time for family, time for church, time for working out, or whatever it is. Make sure that you have a time for it. Even if you have to set alarms so that you can stop what you're doing and move on to the next thing, this will really help you kind of have that balance. How did you get your first deal? So my first deal, I actually got it from cold calling. I was cold calling expireds and I got this really irritated old man, and initially he just went off on me, but I could hear it in his voice, and based on what he was telling me, I could hear it that he needed to sell. Long story short, I had like 3 or 4 conversations where we had to reschedule an appointment twice. Finally, we met in person. I ended up selling that property, double ending it, and it was a property that sold for right under $1 million. So that was my first deal, cold calling from somebody that was initially very mad and pissed at me. The next one is not so much a question, but it says, tell us about any upcoming products, trainings that you will be offering this year. So if you haven't seen my previous video, I did create a Facebook group along with 2 other ladies, Nicole and Steph. It's called Not Just a Pretty Face. So this is just for the ladies. And in that group, we will be doing weekly trainings. Eventually, we will be doing events, especially all over the country, webinars. You can be on the lookout for that. The best thing I would suggest for you to do is, if you want to know if I'm going to be doing a training, an event, or offering some type of product, is make sure you follow me on Instagram, because that's usually where I put up the most up-to-date information on whatever it is that I'm working on and any events that I will be attending. The next question is, what should I do to prep before starting real estate licensing classes in the spring? I would definitely recommend for you to go on YouTube and just watch videos from other real estate agents just to see their perspective on the business and what it is that they do. I'm sure that you're watching me, you're probably watching Brian, maybe you're watching Mike Ferry or Tom Ferry or whoever it is. So yeah, that's definitely something that I recommend for you to do. That way, once you do start those licensing courses, things will sound a little bit more familiar and it'll be easier for you to remember things. Next one is, how many hours of prospecting do you do per day? So I do 4, specifically in the morning from 8 to 12. That is my time allocated for prospecting. If I haven't gotten any leads or if I don't have any appointments in the afternoon, I will continue prospecting in the afternoon as well. Now, this person here asks, what did you do before real estate and what made you switch? So before I got into real estate, I used to work in marketing and advertising. I did that for 8 years. I absolutely loved what I did. I was traveling all the time. I represented high profile clients in entertainment, automotive, consumer goods. I was at festivals, I was at concerts, I was with celebrities, and it just got to the point that I was always traveling and I was never home. So I wanted something that was more stable. I thought going back to school to get my master's degree was going to get me to that point of having like a corporate job, or so I thought. But then I did end up getting a job where my desk was in a cubicle, and that's when I realized that I absolutely hated the cubicle and office life. And I saw the opportunity in doing real estate, the fact that there was no cap for you in terms of success. Everything was based on the work that you would put in. So that really intrigued me. I knew that if I stuck to it, if I had set some goals and I was very committed to it, I would succeed. And here I am now. Next one is, how do you build up your higher end clientele? So by that, I assume that you are asking, how can you get wealthier clients that have bigger pockets, that are probably in the millions or whatever high end is in your state. And I would suggest for you to just network and find out where these people are hanging out, what restaurants are they at, what events they're attending, and start associating yourself in those type of environments. Ultimately, the goal is to network and put yourself in front of these people so that if they ever have any real estate needs, you will be the person that they think of. Moving on to the next one, it's what to do when I pass the real estate exam. So let's say you're watching this, you just passed your license exam with the state. The next thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have to wait probably a month or so for the state to send you your actual license. Once you have that, then you can go and shop around for a brokerage. In the meantime, while you're waiting for your license to arrive, I would definitely recommend for you to interview brokerages to see which one is a good fit for you. I'm with eXp Realty, where everything is virtual. If you want more info on eXp Realty, just go to partner with Loida Loida.com. And once you have selected a brokerage, they will tell you exactly what the process is. So you will fill up an application with them, and you will also have to sign up with a board of realtors in whatever city or county it is that you're in. And usually that's the process. Along with signing up, there are a lot of fees that are involved. And again, this ranges between whatever state you're in. But out here in California, I know that for the entire year, for the MLS dues and NAR and CAR and all those, it can add up to close to $1,000. You obviously want to do your research, but that's just to give you an idea, and that's usually what the process will look like. And we'll make this one here the last question, and that is, what is the scariest real estate story that you've had? So last year in January, I had set an appointment with a for sale by owner. It was myself and Kevin that went to this appointment. The for sale by owner was a great person, but he just was adamant about his friend that was a neighbor down the street that was supposedly the real estate guru. Keep in mind, this man is not a realtor. None of them are. But anyway, long story short, myself and Kevin were at the appointment with the FSBO, and then he just did not want to sign, even though everything looked good. I had sent everything up front. His wife already had the pen in hand ready to sign, but for some reason this man, the husband, the FSBO, he just wasn't like a confident person in making a decision, and he wanted this neighbor down the street, the guru, to come over. So he came over, the guru, and I call him that because that's exactly what he said he was, the real estate guru. He came over saying that we didn't know what we were doing and just pretty much talking a whole bunch of trash to us. Kevin got upset, and it got to the point that they were literally about to just get in a fight. Kevin, if you guys have seen him in my videos, he has glasses. He took them off, he put them in the counter. I had to grab him and hold him back, and I got his glasses because they were like squaring up. And at that point, I was like, we gotta go. So I grabbed Kevin, we ran out the door. I remember we got into my car, and I reversed my way out of that street just so that I wouldn't have to drive by that FSBO's house. And that's probably the scariest story that I have for real estate, just because when we were in that specific situation, the real estate guru man that came over, which was this fat old man and definitely a bully trying to like talk smack to us, he at one point, it looked like he was gonna grab something from his pants. And I seriously thought it was a gun, and that's when I pulled out Kevin and told him we gotta leave. But yeah, that was probably the scariest thing that has happened. Thank God nothing similar has happened since. Not only was it scary, but now that I tell you guys about it, and whenever I bring it up to Kevin, we laugh just because it's crazy. Some of the things that we have seen, and some of the things that other people say that have no clue who we are. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If there are any other questions that you have, make sure to put them in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next video.